everybody, Joe here, and in this video, we're gonna be kind of going through the behind the scenes, the nuts and bolts of how PWA does all of its magic. So let me tell you kind of the overall picture of behind the scenes. There's two important components within PWA. You've probably seen the manifest, right? And what that is that generates a JSON file, okay? It's just basically a static configuration file, and it has all that data that you have set inside the manifest settings, okay? And next up is something, now this is all the magic, okay? Is something called a service worker. Now, normally web pages kind of run as a single thread per tab that you have open, okay? And they couldn't really do much outside of that one little thread. But service workers basically allow us to run background thing and run things in the background of our website. This allows us to do things such as loading external assets in the background. It really awesome caching mechanism, okay? And lastly, it allows us to listen for push notifications. Now, as of today, as of this recording, iOS and Apple don't support push notifications for PWA. There's a lot of talk going on right now that that's eventually going to happen. And when it does, hopefully, the PWA stacks will enable you to do this. Now, obviously for push notifications, it's gonna require a whole backend. There's a lot of services already available for that, for generating those push notifications. So the PWA stack isn't gonna allow you to create all these push notifications out of the box, but it will at least enable the push notification to be an option for your PWA. And it does actually right now for Android and Chrome and things of that nature. So that is possible in that ecosystem. But I think where a lot of the use case for push notifications is going to happen is right here on our mobile devices, right? It's a user installs it on iOS, and you want to be able to get a push notification on iOS natively, right? That's really cool. Hopefully that will come one day from Apple. But the PWA stacks will enable that. It'll make it possible for that to happen. So what tools can we use to debug our PWAs? Okay, so let's jump into Chrome. Now, normally I'm a Safari user, but right now Chrome just has the best dev tools for a PWA. Okay, and if you open the Chrome dev tools and you go to the application tab, you'll see that we have manifest. And this just kind of shows you all of the manifest data. Okay, it shows you what icons it would use. It shows, the short name, the full name, the description, where the start URL is, and the colors. So if you just kind of want to, verify the data, you can see that here. Next up is we see service workers. And here we'll see that Foundation Stacks has a service worker. We see that it's called pwa.min.js. You can actually see the day it was actually installed. Okay. And you can actually, if you want, you can actually unregister it, which basically forces an uninstall. So if you unregister it and then you refresh the page, it'll download a fresh new copy of the PWA, okay, of the service worker. Pretty cool stuff there. And lastly, in the cache storage, okay, in cache storage, you'll see that here, PWA Pro manages multiple cache storages for different types of data, just to kind of keep things a little organized. So here in the dynamic cache, we have like our HTML and CSS and JavaScript, essentially, pretty much all of that. And then in our font cache, we have all of our font files. And inside image cache, there's going to be all of our image files. Okay. And if you can click on all those, you can see everything and all that data. Okay. For each one, you can preview it as well. So there we go. All these are cached with the service worker. Pretty cool. Now, one thing that's useful with the cache is you can actually go ahead and select a cache storage and you can right click and you can actually say delete, and it will actually delete that cache in the browser. Okay. And I think you can do individual. Yeah, you can actually individual or you can refresh, hard refresh kind of a particular asset. Again, this is only going to be within your browser. It's not going to affect everybody. But if you're testing things and whatnot, it's very convenient to be able to just kind of delete your cache manually if you want to. And maybe reload it. So next time I were to reload this page, we'll see that the HTML cache is loaded. Same thing as dynamic cache is loaded. So I deleted that dynamic cache. I deleted the HTML cache before I had the previous segment. So there we go. So dynamic cache is loaded in here because I deleted it. So all that asset actually got re-downloaded by the browser. Now, lastly, if you go to in Chrome, actually, you can go to the Lighthouse tab, and that's essentially the same thing as going to Google PageSpeed. Okay, and if you run it, it will notice if you have a PWA configured, and it will kind of give you a nice little score. Making sure that it actually is installable and you have all the various required elements, for a PWA. Cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a quick overview of the behind the scenes technology behind PWA Pro and all the cool stuff we could do to help debug it and learn more about kind of what's going on behind the scenes. So I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you on the Weaver Space community. I hope you're enjoying PWA.